Today I'm going to teach you how to make a lower gatefold card into a Dutch door fun fold card in just minutes. This Thanksgiving card tutorial is especially simple because you're going to enjoy the free template that's going to be available in today's project sheet. Hi, I'm Lisa Curcio and I would love to welcome you here to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I've got a free project sheet that's going to include that template, but it's also going to include pictures, cutting dimensions, and the supplies, not only for this card, but for the other two I'm going to share with you, one of which is an all occasion card and one of which is a Christmas card. Before we get started, I want to make sure that you know how to find it. It's linked down in the video description below and also as the first comment. All right, we're ready. Let's get started. We're going to begin with the card base. I'm going to use my paper trimmer that includes both the scoring and the cutting blades. They're going to stay on the track at the exact same time, which makes this super convenient. There's a ledge here at the top to make sure your cardstock is nice and straight. This is measuring 7 1/8 by 8 inches. You need the 8-inch measurement at the top of the trimmer. We're going to do the first score line at 2 inches. We're going to do the second score line at 6 inches. We're going to rotate the cardstock and we're going to score at 2 3/8 of an inch. Now we're going to score at 4 3/4. I am going to take a pencil and I'm going to show you what we're going to cut away. We're going to cut away the top two portions on both the left and the right side. That's going to create the lower gatefold. You can certainly use your scissors to do this, but I'm going to use my paper trimmer because it's going to create a nice straight cut for me. I'm going to put this back in and you can simply line up the crease, but you'll remember that the first scored line was at 2 inches. So all we're going to do is line that back up at 2 inches and we're going to use the dark blade now and we are going to cut down to that bottom crease. And I can see it really good here through the clear cutting guide. I'm going to slide over to the 6-inch mark now and we're going to do the exact same thing. I've navigated the cutting blade here to the top and we're going to cut down here to the score line. We're going to open this up and we're going to turn it. We want to cut away these top two areas to the score line that's here. This is at 4 3/4 of an inch. You might recall that when we did the scoring. So I'm going to line that up carefully. And now we're just going to cut from here to remove the section where my fingers are. And I'm going to slide the blade down. I'm going to pick up the trimmer. I'm going to put my finger here to keep it up out of the way. I'm going to move my blade down. I'm going to line it up here at the bottom and I'm going to cut up. When you open it, you're going to have these two pieces. If for some reason it didn't cut all the way, don't pull it. It's going to leave the cardstock frayed. Use your scissors and just cut away the excess. I'm going to go over those score lines now with the bone folder. So this is the lower gatefold. I'm folding up here and I'm going to go over that with my bone folder and the same thing now on this side. You want to make sure that these edges are nice and straight. Then we're going to come down here. There's another score line here at the bottom. That we're going to ignore. We're going to fold down on the top and go over it with the bone folder. This score line will eventually be hidden. This now has created the lower gatefold and this has created the Dutch door. But the opening here needs a closure. Let's go ahead and let's work on those pieces next. I've chosen the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper for my card. The papers are double-sided with Stampin' Up. I'm going to be using that crumb cake plaid on this side. I'm using the precision glue press to add my glue, and this will get centered here. I love to use the silicone craft sheet underneath me when I'm using liquid glue so it doesn't get on my work surface. It will not stick to here. This piece now is going to go here at the top. So I'm just going to open this up to make it nice and flat. I'm going to add my liquid glue. With the card base flat, this is going to get centered here. Coming back here to the bottom where the lower gatefold is, we're going to decorate this as well. I've already layered it because you've seen me do that once before. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some more liquid glue and that's going to go on each of these doors. Now, if for some reason you're using paper with a direction, be very cognizant when you open this up to make sure that you don't put the designer paper on upside down. When you're all finished, you'll have the lower gatefold decorated and of course the top, which is the Dutch door. Let's work on the image portion, which is going to help keep all this closed. I have basic white cardstock here, and I'm going to be using a variety of images from one of my very favorite autumn bundles. This is called More Than Autumn. You're going to get the stamps and the dies, and I love that you've got some script dies here. Everything can be mixed and matched to create custom greetings. And not only for autumn or fall, but also for the holidays and of course through winter. I'll be using my Memento Black ink pad for this. I've pulled out the cup image here. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up, and I'm going to stamp one of those here. Moving over to the whipped cream image, I'm going to ink that up as well. We'll stamp one here, and I'm going to need a second one. I'm going to stamp the other one here. Inside the band of my latte cup, I decided I wanted a little bit of pumpkin to coordinate with my Thanksgiving theme. That's going to go here. I'm going to add some cinnamon sticks to that whipped cream when we're all finished, and I'll stamp those here. I already have these colored for you, but I want to talk to you about the whipped cream. You may want to leave it as it is, but I thought it was a little bit stark. So I'm going to show you a tip using alcohol-based markers. These are the Stampin' Blends. Since I've colored most of my images to coordinate with the designer series paper, this is the light Calypso Coral. You'll also want to make sure that you protect your work surface. I'm going to come in just here outside of some of those areas of the whipped cream, and I'm going to highlight that. This in itself is great, but I wanted to lighten it up so that it wasn't predominant, and that's where the color lifter comes into play. This is a straight alcohol blending tool. It actually moves and lightens the color. So I'm going to come in over those areas. I'm just going to add the alcohol ink right over the top. As it starts to dry, it's going to fade and lighten the shade. My next step is to add a few sprinkles, and I'm using the Early Espresso ink pad for this, and I've pulled out the sprinkles image here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink those up, and I'm going to stamp those here. I also chose to stamp and color in a little piece of that pie to make it look like pumpkin pie for this autumn card. The best tip I can give to you is go ahead and assemble these pieces first before placing them on your card. I'm going to be using the reversible tweezers for this. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this upside down. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue with the precision glue press right here near the bottom, and that's going to go right here on top of the cup. We're going to work on the cinnamon sticks next. I'm going to add a little bit of glue here at the bottom. I'm going to tuck one of these here lower on the right hand side. I've added a little liquid glue to this one as well, and we'll make this one a little bit higher just to create some visual interest. This one we're going to cut smaller so that's going to fit on top of the pie. Using your scissors, we're going to cut away just the top portion. You can see that the die cut here is a little dollop. So I'm going to turn this to make it easy for my hand. I'm just going to come in and follow that little bit of a curve all the way around here to the top. And then I'm just going to give this a little bit of character so it looks like it's been die cut like the rest of the image. I'm going to flip this upside down. We're going to add a little glue here at the bottom. And now this is going to get attached here to the top of my pumpkin pie. Before you joined me, I went ahead and I added some additional layers with the same designer series paper package. And I love that all the different array of colors are very coordinated so that you can flip them over and use them together. This is where we're going to build that image upon. But I want to break this up a little bit, so I decided to use a little bit of linen thread. I'm going to wrap this around my hand. I'll leave a little bit of a tail here at the bottom. I'm going to spread my fingers and I'm going to wrap it 3 times and pull it off. Pinching it in the center, I want these loops to be uneven. So I'm going to pull one of them and make them a little bit longer than the other. Keeping it pinched, this is going to go on a diagonal here in the center of the card. Now you can use a dimensional if you'd like, but quite frankly, I love a household product much better for this. I have a small piece here of household tape, and I'll tell you why I like this. Because sometimes I put it down and it's not exactly where I want it, and I can easily lift this without marring the paper to reposition it. So let's go ahead and let's visually decide where we're going to put the images. I'm going to place one of those here so my loops will show, and I'm going to take my pumpkin pie and place it here. Now you can look and see that a little bit of that tape is showing it. There is a die here of a leaf, and if you look closely, you'll actually see that it's 2 pieces. So it'll die cut the outline as well as the inside. I wanted to keep it as one piece. So what I did is I added another piece of household tape to the back to make sure that those pieces were secure. As long as nothing is showing from the outside, you are good to go. This now is going to get tucked here, which is going to hide the tape and add a little bit more of a fall feel to this card. I'm going to come back with my reversible tweezers. I'm going to pick up this piece and I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue here where I know it's going to connect to the cup. Now that they're connected, I can flip this over, and if I need to add a little bit more liquid glue for this leaf, I certainly can do so. I'm going to work here at the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue. Love this precision glue press for this. Look how light and easy it comes out. This now is going to get tucked behind here. I'm going to take this piece now and I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to grab my dimensionals. I'm going to add those to the back side. Make sure that they're well balanced for mailing. Now that the dimensionals are in place, I'm going to go ahead and use my Take Your Pick tool to remove those paper backings. Now that this is all one piece, it's going to be a lot easier for us to connect it to the panel. I wanted to add a greeting, but I went back to that exact same stamp set, and what I found was a greeting that was way too large, and I wanted to break it up. So I want to show you another tip. Using the early espresso ink once again, the words on here say grateful, it's finally, but I only wanted the grateful. Photopolymer is fantastic for this because you can navigate to get just the letters and the words that you need. Using the edge of my ink pad, I'm going to ink up just the word grateful. Either side of the ink pad works well. Once it's been inked up, I've grabbed a small piece of cardstock and I'm going to stamp that here. I want a small banner tip on this side, so I want to show you how to do that. Make a slit in the center of the cardstock first. The deeper the slit, the more pointy the banner tip is going to be. Once you're happy with it, come to the corner and you're going to cut to the bottom of the slit. Flip the cardstock over to make it easy for your hand. And now what you're going to do is you're going to do the exact same thing on this side, from the corner to the top of the slit. When you're all done, you'll have the perfect banner every single time. I've added some mini dimensionals to the back side, and I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the top left corner here of the designer series paper. Now that the image has been put together, we're going to add it to the Dutch door. This is going to help create that closure. You want to be very careful where you place your adhesive or dimensionals because you don't want to seal this shut. So I'm going to flip this upside down, and the safest way is to do it like this. One in each top corner, one in the center for balancing the weight. And then you're going to take two additional ones and work them closely to the top in between offsetting the panel. Once the backings have been removed, we're going to come back here and collapse the card. You're going to center this panel now between the top and the bottom areas, right to left, the very best that you can. Coming to the inside, we want to hide that crease, and these panels could use a little decoration. I've already got those finished for you, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add two of them here and another one here at the top. Now that our panels are all adhered, we need to cover this area, and it's a perfect place for you to write and sign. I did do this ahead of time. This is that exact same grateful greeting that we just used. I inked up the other side to do it's finally, and then I stamped pumpkin season. This is two words, and if you're like me and you struggle on getting them the same height, I want to give you another tip. You're going to use some grid paper. I love this because it's always going to make things straight. Grab your clear block. You're going to take your first word and you're going to lay it on the grid paper. Use one of the dark lines as a guide. Take your second word and leave a little space between the two of them, again using the black line as a guide. Once you're happy with this, what you're going to do is you're going to take your clear block right to the top of those photopolymer stamps and you're going to press and you're going to lift. I used early espresso ink. I'm going to ink it up, and I always practice and test with it first on one of the black lines to make sure my text is straight. If it's not, you can keep stamping and change the direction of the images and of course the height and the spacing as desired. I'll be using the precision glue press once again. We're going to add this panel to the inside of the card. That precision glue press is linked for you on my website under Shop Craft Room Favorites. It is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I love it and I use it all the time here in the studio. Finally, we're going to add an embellishment. We're going to keep it nice and simple. I'm using the neutral matte dots, and I'm going to come in here with the pecan pie color because I think those are going to work really well with this designer series paper. Keeping the card closed, I'm going to go ahead and add a larger one here, a smaller one on an angle, and then finally one additional small one here near the top. And your lower gatefold Dutch door card is finished. Now I have several other samples to share with you. This next one uses the Jar of Joy bundles, stamps and coordinating jar builder punch. And I created this adorable card. Not your traditional Christmas colors, but why not? The gingerbread in that dark brown creates a really festive feel. I used a die cut circle from one of my very favorite circle die sets called Spotlight on Nature. It's very, very abundant with graduating sizes. While it was fantastic, I decided it needed a little bit of texture. So I brought in the Eyelet 3D embossing folder and embossed that circle, which gave me a circle opening versus the square that we did here on the first card. My greeting is nice and long from that stamp set, but it works. Just be careful that you don't put any adhesive or dimensionals on the end. We're going to open it up to reveal some sparkling sequins here and a really cute and whimsical inside greeting, and of course, more designer series paper. The complementary colors make this card really fun, even though it's not traditional color scheme. I have one more for you. This next one is from Christmas Greenery Bundle. And while this is a Christmas bundle, I decided to make a non-Christmas card with it to show you how versatile this image can be. I used the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper for this, coordinated the fronts and the backs to create that beautiful panel. The great thing about this stamp set is you'll see that there are solid images here that fill the flower if you don't want to color it in. It's a great 2-for-1 in that stamp set, and that's exactly what I've done here. I stamped the solid image inside the outline and did the same here. I left my little thistles with a little bit of the fresh freesia ink and brought in that same color, stamped the solid image over the outline here. I added a greeting using the More Messages bundle and some coordinating beautiful two-tone gems. Opening it up, and I used a greeting from, believe it or not, Peace on Earth. That stamp set includes greetings you can use all year round. And just like this one, you can always change the direction or the size and shape of the image. As always, your feedback is super important to me, so pop down right now in the comments and let me know which one was your favorite. If you love being in the know about everything that's happening here at Lisa's Stamp Studio, including the promotions that Stampin' Up! Is offering, head over to my website and scroll all the way to the bottom and fill out that little form. That's going to add you to my free weekly e-newsletter. Not only do I provide you with what's happening and what's up to date, I'm also going to keep you inspired. Talking about inspiration, you're going to want to know all about my Stamp Studio memberships. It doesn't matter what country you live in, and every single Monday, right to your inbox, you're going to get a brand new tutorial and project from me that I don't share anywhere else. There are 2 levels. Level 1 is $5 a month, and it includes pictures, cutting dimensions, supplies, and a step-by-step tutorial. The best part of all is my tutorials are not watermarked, which means if you teach classes or clubs or want to share with friends, you are free to do so. But if you're looking for a little bit more, Level 2 includes a fun fold card in addition to everything in Level 1. Everyone in Level 2 is going to get a discount code for my PDF tutorial library, and everyone there will also be entered into 5 product giveaways every single month. You'll find all the information for Stamp Studio memberships on my website in the red menu bar titled Memberships. Finally, there's lots of ways to support me here at Lisa's Stamp Studio. You'll find those linked down in the video description below, along with a link to provide you with more inspiration. Make sure you click on one of these videos here on the screen so I can give you more ideas and keep you creating. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.